You're tuned in to Pyrocryptic X News, daily crypto coverage on the networks that matter. XRP, XLM, XDC, and many others. Let's get into it.
Welcome. You've tuned in to Pyrocryptic X News. We're your source for the crypto intelligence you really need, cutting through the noise. Today is April 25th, 2025, and we've got some crucial updates shaping the market. Let's jump right in. First up, pretty big news concerning XRP. The CME Group, the major derivatives marketplace, they've announced plans to launch XRP futures trading. That's set for May 19th.
Right, though it is pending that final regulatory review, as always. But still, a very significant step.
Definitely. And they're offering different contract sizes, too. Micro ones at 2,500 XRP, and then the standard larger ones at 50,000 XRP.
Yeah, and what's interesting is their stated reason. The CME Group says it's a direct response to, growing interest. They're seeing it from both institutional clients and, importantly, retail investors, too, specifically in XRP and the underlying XRP ledger.
So it's not just institutions pushing this, then?
Exactly. They see these futures as a, let's say, capital-efficient tool. Helps their clients manage risk, implement strategies, hedging, that sort of thing.
Makes sense. And these will be cash settled, right? Based on a specific reference rate.
That's correct. Cash settled. Based on the CME CF XRP dollar reference rate. It's calculated once daily, 4 p.m. London time. This new product joins their existing crypto suite. They already have Bitcoin, Ether.
And they just launched Solana futures recently, too, didn't they?
They did, and they're highlighting some pretty impressive growth figures for their whole crypto derivatives lineup. Average daily volume up, 141% year over year in Q1? That's substantial.
Wow, yeah. And speaking of retail interest, JB McKenzie over at Robinhood chimed in. He called bringing these futures onto their platform a natural next step. Says their customers have shown strong interest in digital assets, so this fits right in.
It really ties together. You see the institutional infrastructure being built by CME, and then platforms like Robinhood making it accessible potentially to a wider retail base. And Sal Gilberty, the CEO of Teucrium, added another layer. He pointed out XRP's actual utility, for global value transfers using the ledger, plus the demand they've seen for their own 2x daily long XRP ETF, the XXRP ticker. He views this CME listing as another key milestone for the whole crypto ecosystem's evolution.
So a lot of positive signals around XRP infrastructure and accessibility there. Okay, let's shift gears a bit. There's another interesting development, this time involving Ondo Finance and regulators. They actually met with the US SEC's Crypto Asset Working Group.
Oh, that's significant. What was the focus?
The main topic was finding a regulatory framework for tokenizing US securities, putting traditional stocks or bonds onto the blockchain.
Right, tokenization, that's a huge area. So Ondo is trying to get ahead of the curve, basically.
It seems like it. According to the SEC documents released, Ondo presented their ideas, their proposed structure for how these tokenized securities could work. And they raised some, pretty critical questions. Things about registration, how broker-dealers would comply, market regulation rules, even state corporate law implications.
Those are exactly the hurdles you'd expect. Getting clarity on registration and broker-dealer roles is absolutely fundamental if this is going to work within the current system. They also explored things like sandbox arrangements, didn't they? Or maybe some kind of regulatory relief.
Yes, they did. Suggests they're looking for ways to, innovate, but do it responsibly and making sure investors are still protected. It's not just about bypassing rules.
It's constructive engagement, which is often better than waiting for regulations to be imposed. Who was involved from Ondo?
Key figures like CEO Nathan Allman, Chief Strategy Officer Ian DeBode, and their legal advisors were there. They were basically advocating for a clear path forward, one that lets these digital versions of traditional assets operate compliantly under U.S. law.
And they proposed different models, you said, to tackle the legal gray area.
Exactly, offering potential structures, presumably to show the SEC how it could work, addressing the ambiguities that exist right now.
It's a proactive approach. Getting regulatory clarity here could really unlock a lot of potential in bridging traditional finance and digital assets.
Definitely something to keep an eye on. Okay, finally, let's take a quick snapshot of the broader crypto market. This is based on Decrypt data from late yesterday, April 24th. XRP itself was actually down slightly, trading around $2.21, a dip of about 0.88%.
Interesting, despite the positive futures news. But markets can be irrational short-term. What about Ondo?
Ondo, ticker ONDO, showed some strong positive movement. It was priced at 0.983443, and that was up a solid 6.76%, likely reaction to that SEC meeting news we just discussed.
Makes sense. Good news often gets priced in quickly. How about the majors?
A bit of a mixed bag across the board. Bitcoin was at $93,449, down just 0.35%. Ethereum at $1,765.59, down a bit more, 1.71%.
Okay, relatively stable for the big two then.
Yeah, but Solana was actually up slightly, $151.64, a gain of 0.38%.
Interesting divergence there. Any other notable movers?
While SUI had a good day, up 7.72%, and POL saw a really big surge, up 13.11%.
Wow, double-digit gains there.
On the flip side, the Trump took a significant hit, down 10.34%.
Right, so it really highlights the usual crypto market picture, some winners, some losers, lots of movement depending on the specific asset and, the day's news cycle.
Exactly. So just to recap the key takeaways for you listening, XRP futures are officially on the way from CME, aiming for a May launch. That signals growing institutional and retail interest. Meanwhile, Ondo Finance is proactively talking with the SEC about rules for tokenizing traditional securities, which could be a major step for integrating TradFi and crypto.
And the broader market keeps doing its thing, fluctuating, with different assets moving in different directions. It just underscores why staying informed is so crucial in this space.
Absolutely. These developments definitely offer some intriguing possibilities, potential shifts for your own strategies. Keep a close watch on how the regulatory side unfolds and, of course, those market movements. For Cryptic X News, this has been your concise crypto briefing. Stay informed.
And maybe one final thought to leave you with. Think about what this increasing engagement from both traditional finance players like CME and proactive projects like Ondo really signals. Could we be seeing a faster track towards, deeper integration and maybe a more mature crypto ecosystem overall? And importantly, what new doors might that open for you?
That's it for today on Cryptic X News. Stay sharp, stay informed, and catch the next drop right here.